In the grand history of the Joseon Dynasty, kings, generals, and scholars are often remembered, but hidden deep within palace walls lived a chef whose mastery became legendary, even though history books never recorded his name. This is the forgotten story of Master Eun-ho, the chef whose skills and loyalty turned him into a legend. Our story begins inside the massive royal kitchen complex of Gyeonggukgung Palace, where hundreds of cooks worked day and night preparing meals for the king, queen, royal family, and court officials. Eun-ho was not born into privilege. He started as a kitchen servant, chopping vegetables, cleaning pots, and carrying firewood. But he possessed a rare gift on, extraordinary sense of taste, and the ability to recreate any dish after tasting it just once. One winter, a crisis struck the palace. The king's health began to decline, and physicians blamed stress and poor digestion. The royal kitchen was in panic. Every chef tried to prepare healing dishes, but nothing pleased the king. Court officials demanded results, and failure meant punishment. Eun-ho quietly stepped forward. He had studied ancient herbal texts at night after work, believing food could heal the body as well as medicine. He created a broth made from ginseng, medicinal roots, and tender beef, simple yet perfectly balanced. Hesitant, the head chef allowed it to be served. The moment the king tasted it, he felt warmth return to his body. His appetite slowly recovered, and within weeks, his health significantly improved. The court was shocked. A low-ranking kitchen worker had succeeded where senior chefs failed. Word spread quickly. Eun-ho was promoted to royal chef, the youngest in palace history. But his rise came with challenges. Other chefs grew jealous, claiming he used luck, not skill. Some plotted to sabotage his work. Eun-ho, however, remained calm and humble. His next challenge came during a high-level banquet attended by foreign envoys. The menu demanded perfection. But a delivery mistake ruined several key ingredients. Panic swept through the kitchen. Instead of giving up, Eun-ho improvised using mountain herbs, seasonal vegetables, and ingredients normally considered too simple for royal cuisine. His dishes astonished everyone. Even the envoys praised Joseon food as the taste of harmony and wisdom. The king was so impressed that he granted Eun-ho a special honor rarely given to commoners. He was allowed to wear a small jade badge symbolizing royal trust. Years passed, and Eun-ho became more than a chef. He became a quiet guardian of the palace. When a famine struck the kingdom, he proposed recipes using cheap, accessible ingredients to help the poor survive harsh conditions. His ideas spread across villages, saving countless lives. But despite these achievements, his name was never officially recorded. Palace chefs were considered invisible, their contributions overshadowed by nobles. Yet through oral stories passed down among kitchen families, Eun-ho became a legend, a man who healed a king, represented Joseon on the world stage, and fed a starving nation. His legacy survives not in documents, but in the dishes Koreans still enjoy today's soups rooted in medicinal wisdom, banquets inspired by seasonal balance, and home meals created to nourish both body and soul. This is the story they never taught in school, a forgotten chef who rose from nothing to become a legend of the Joseon Dynasty. In the grand history of the Joseon Dynasty, kings, generals, and scholars are often remembered, but hidden deep within palace walls lived a chef whose mastery became legendary. Even though history books never recorded his name, this is the forgotten story of Master Eun-ho, the chef whose skills and loyalty turned him into a legend. Our story begins inside the massive royal kitchen complex of Gyeongbokgung Palace, where hundreds of cooks worked day and night preparing meals for the king, queen, royal family, and court officials. Eun-ho was not born into privilege. He started as a kitchen servant, chopping vegetables, cleaning pots, and carrying firewood. But he possessed a rare gift, an extraordinary sense of taste, and the ability to recreate any dish after tasting it just once. He moved through the bustling kitchen almost unseen, his mind a library of flavors and his hands eager to learn. While others saw menial tasks, Eun-ho saw the foundation of culinary art, understanding that the perfect dish began not with rare ingredients, but with precise, humble preparation. His dedication was fueled by a quiet ambition to one day create a meal worthy of the king himself. One winter, a crisis struck the palace. The king's health began to decline, and physicians blamed stress and poor digestion. The royal kitchen was thrown into a state of panic. Every seasoned chef tried to prepare elaborate healing dishes, but nothing pleased the frail king. His appetite vanished, and his strength waned with each passing day. Court officials, growing desperate, demanded results, and the threat of severe punishment loomed over the entire kitchen staff. Failure meant not just dishonor, but potential exile, or worse. As despair settled in, the most experienced culinarians found their skills useless against the king's mysterious ailment. It was then that Eun-ho quietly stepped forward. He had spent countless nights poring over ancient herbal texts, driven by a profound belief that food could heal the body just as powerfully as medicine. He proposed a dish born from this wisdom, a simple yet perfectly balanced broth made from ginseng, a selection of medicinal roots known for their restorative properties, and the most tender cut of beef simmered for hours to extract its essence. The head chef, skeptical of a low-ranking servant's bold suggestion, but left with no other options, hesitantly allowed the broth to be served. The moment the king tasted the simple, nourishing soup, he felt a gentle warmth return to his body, a sensation he had not experienced in months. His appetite, long absent, slowly recovered, and within weeks his health had significantly improved. The entire court was shocked. A low-ranking kitchen worker, armed only with ancient knowledge and a humble spirit, had succeeded where the most senior and decorated chefs had failed. Word of the miraculous recovery and the chef behind it spread through the palace like wildfire. Eun-ho was summoned before the king and, in an unprecedented move, was promoted to royal chef, the youngest in the history of the palace. But his sudden rise came with new and dangerous challenges to the chefs, whose families had served in the royal kitchen for generations, grew intensely jealous. They whispered that his success was mere luck, not skill, and some began to plot, hoping to sabotage his work and see him disgraced. Yet through it all, Eun-ho remained calm and humble, his focus unwavering from his craft. His next great challenge arrived during a high-level state banquet attended by foreign envoys, an event where the prestige of the entire dynasty was on the line. The menu demanded absolute perfection, a culinary showcase of Joseon's refinement and power. Disaster struck when a critical delivery mistake ruined several key ingredients just hours before the feast. Panic swept through the kitchen. The head chefs saw only failure and royal displeasure. But instead of giving up, Eun-ho saw an opportunity. He improvised, turning to the mountainside herbs. Seasonal wild vegetables and other ingredients normally considered too simple or common for royal cuisine. With masterful skill, he transformed these humble elements into a series of dishes that were both innovative and deeply rooted in tradition. His creations astonished everyone. The envoys, who had tasted the finest foods from across the continent, praised Joseon's cuisine as the taste of harmony and wisdom, a perfect reflection of the nation's philosophy. The king, more impressed than ever, was filled with pride. In recognition of this diplomatic triumph, he granted Eun-ho a special honor rarely given to commoners. He was allowed to wear a small, intricately carved jade badge, a personal symbol of the king's unwavering trust and favor. This badge was more than an ornament. It was a shield, a silent declaration of the chef's protected status within the treacherous court. Years passed, and Eun-ho became more than just a chef. He evolved into a quiet guardian of the palace and its people. When a devastating famine struck the kingdom, causing widespread suffering, he did not confine his talents to the palace walls. He approached the king with a proposal, a collection of recipes using cheap, widely accessible ingredients like barley, wild roots, and fermented greens, designed to help the poor survive the harsh conditions. His ideas were approved and disseminated across the country's provinces. These simple, nutritious recipes spread from village to village, saving countless lives and providing hope during a time of national despair. But despite these incredible achievements, his name was never officially recorded in the royal annals or history books. Palace chefs, regardless of their influence, were considered artisans of a lower class, their contributions systematically overshadowed by the nobles and scholars who wrote the histories. Yet, through the intimate oral stories passed down among generations of kitchen families, Eun-ho became a legend, the humble man who healed a king with a single bowl of soup, represented the soul of Joseon on the world stage, and fed a starving nation with his wisdom and compassion. His story was a testament to the idea that true greatness is measured not by titles, but by impact. His legacy survives, not in dusty documents or stone monuments, but in the very heart of Korean cuisines, the dishes that Koreans still enjoy today. It lives on in the soul-warming soups, rooted in medicinal wisdom, in the elegant banquets inspired by seasonal balance and natural harmony, and in the simple home meals created to nourish both body and soul. His spirit is present in every meal that values substance over spectacle and healing over opulence. This is the story they never taught in school, a forgotten chef who rose from nothing to become a legend of the Joseon Dynasty.